G'day fellas, and welcome back to another casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, we've got CM, who's playing in the color red as the Abbasid dynasty. Going to be opening up with just a couple of villages out towards the berries. Going to be dropping down a mill nice and early and rallying his TC out to that position as well. Now the map is Dry Arabia. Actually, I say that the map is Dry Arabia. It doesn't look like the map is Dry Arabia. It actually looks like the map is Highview. So apologies. These maps can be deceivingly similar sometimes. But on the other side of the map, we've got spawning in, playing as the English in the color blue. It is Hut, hailing from Australia. You guys will be familiar with him. A very competent individual. I think consistently sitting just outside the top 10 on the ladder. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to be doing. And I've just realized we've got a barracks that's come down before the minute mark. Men-at-arms already coming out. This is interesting to see. Now, keep in mind, we're actually on the PUP right now, the public update preview. That is what we're watching right now, which is why you're seeing this. Typically, English wouldn't have enough wood to open with a barracks and a house, but you can see that the house has come through, barracks has also come through, and now we've got 2 men-at-arms at a minute 20. Now, one of the other changes that I think also happened is that they reduced the training time on English men-at-arms. Now, I've said that, you know, I mentioned it before, I didn't really like this change because you've got men-at-arms that are shared through all civilizations, and all of a sudden you're just making it so that the English men-at-arms just train faster. And so, like, I think everybody else is like 23 seconds on the men-at-arms, and then all of a sudden English are like 15 seconds. It's like, why? Why? Like, why can they train their men-at-arms faster? Like, obviously it's because they get it in the Dark Age, but it's not listed as a civ bonus. Like, that's, and actually, you know, to bring up another point, the Holy Roman Empire carrying bonus isn't listed as a civilization bonus, or at least I'm pretty sure it's not. Maybe they fixed it. It never used to be. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what the heck is the point of having these early men-at-arms? What do they do? So the number one thing that you're going to be looking to do is apply pressure to your enemy's gold. Now, you can hear that the House of Wisdom actually just got completed there. Might not have enough gold through. We'll check on CM right now. He's actually just got enough gold to go up to the next age, so Hut coming in just a little bit too late. No reaction coming through from CM just yet. Gonna get a nice early men-at-arm kill on that villager. And now, all he needs to do is just sit here on this gold mine, and he's in a great position here because the town center, you can see it's right here. He's able to actually stop the stone from being gathered. He can stop the gold from being gathered. He's now going to come out towards the berries as well. Now, it doesn't look like he's going absolutely like ham when it comes to this. Normally what you'd see is like players committing to a real feudal age push, but 2 men-at-arms is actually the perfect amount because 1 men-at-arms, it's going to be annoying, but you can just pull back the villagers one by one towards the town center and then send out new villagers. It causes idle time, but it doesn't really kill villagers. 2 men-at-arms, though, that's a problem. That is actually where the real damage comes. So good job from Hut to realize and appreciate that. That is where the money is. You can see now he's going to be torching down the mining camp. Now, one of the things to note is that not only do the Abbasid dynasty get this bonus where they provide additional torch damage, I think it's in here through the Golden Age. Nope. It's probably here. Yeah, the influence. So the buildings within influence gain +5 fire armor. So you can see his buildings are only taking 5 fire armor or fire damage when they probably should be taking 10. So you can see there. But in addition to that, Hut, as the English, doesn't have access to the spear in Age 1. He's only got access to the men-at-arms, which obviously they're a very good hand-to-hand fighter, but they're also expensive. They're 120 versus the 80. So they cost, you know, significantly more than the spears, but they do the same damage. So if you're thinking about sieging down your enemy with these men-at-arms, do not think about it. It's just not worth it. The idea is that you are looking to control space, and now you can see Hut forces out an outpost from his enemy. So if his enemy's got a build order in mind, that build order has gone out the window. And that's really what these men-at-arms are about doing. They're about breaking that. You know, typically players will come into a game and they'll be like, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This is what the men-at-arms do. They say, well, no, you said you're going to do this, you can't do this anymore. You now have to go gather wood for an outpost. Oh, you wanted to come onto the stone? Well, you can't do that either. So now you got to start changing your plan and start adapting. And that's really, really where the English sort of come in strong with this early aggression. That's typically why Mongols are so strong, because you come into a game and you've got a game plan and the Mongols are like, no, you don't, mate. No, you don't. Back towards the base of Hut. we are going to be having his age up coming through. Going to be going up with the Abbey of the Kings. It is happening now. Abbey of Kings has actually been buffed in the recent patch. Hart just using everything right now that has been buffed up. Also, we see a wheelbarrow coming through, so this is a very good upgrade for the English. Honestly, the English are the civilization that get the most out of wheelbarrow, more than any other civilization, in my opinion, and that is because they are constantly running back with their farms. So that's the thing, because their farms gather faster, so you can see that it is an increased harvest rate. It means that they're going to be making more trips. They're going to be harvesting that faster, and as a result, it means that they're doing a lot more walking because they're harvesting more quickly. So with the wheelbarrow, they're obviously walking less, and when they are walking, they're walking faster. But now we see that beautiful landmark coming through. The first time that we've ever seen that landmark, at least I would say, in a serious game. Obviously, we see it as a bit of a meme sometimes, but this is actually, I mean, this has been theorized as a potential strategy that you could open, you know, we talked about it in that first video, or not that first video, in the patch video. We said, okay, you know, it took me a while to get to it, but I realized, you know, what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Age 1 or Dark Age Men-at-Arm Rush with the English a thing. And I really like it. Honestly, when I see this kind of aggression that's coming out, I get so excited by the thought of it. Just simply because it's very difficult to stop. It forces a reaction out of your enemy. You know, right now, he's going to have to respond. He's got an archery range that he's going with camel archers, which is 100% the correct response in this situation. But now we can see Hut also going for horticulture behind this, beginning to add farms. So this really is a next level English build order. And you can see he's playing it so smart, so safe. Got to be careful. This camel archer probably going to be able to take down the men-at-arms very effectively. You can see doing about 5 damage a pop there. At least was it only 5? No, it's a lot of damage, actually. 66 health, 65. It's doing 9 damage a pop. Damn, those things hurt. So, Camel Archer are a very good counter here. So, Hart probably making a little bit of, not a mistake, but just not respecting the archery range and really appreciating the damage that that can do. Now, one of the combos that comes out from the Abbasid dynasty, very difficult to deal with, Horseman and Camel Archer. And you might be wondering, Drongo, why is that so difficult to deal with? Well, let me explain it. So, the Horse Archer is going, or the Camel Archer is going to kill any spears very easily. You can just micro that all day with your speed. The Horsemen obviously counter your enemy's ranged units, so your archers as an example. And then that's those 2 units figured out, and you're always going to be able to outmobility. You're always going to be able to outposition your enemy. So then you're like, all right, well, my last option is Horseman. Well, guess what? The Camel has a bonus that reduces the effect of cavalry nearby. So you can see it here, Camels cause horse cavalry units to deal 20% less damage. So as long as there's a relatively similar number of cavalry units, even if there's just a couple of horse or camel archers out, they're going to be able to do so much work. And that's really where the strength of this Abbasid composition comes in. And it's been taking over the ranked ladder. So I'm curious to see exactly how CM's going to play. But so far, he's looking pretty decent. Back towards the English base. And I got to say, I'm absolutely loving the look right now of this English base. Isn't this just absolutely beautiful? Abbey of the Kings coming in clutch right now, looking very, very nice. But at the same time, these farms sitting here. And remember, he's got all the upgrades. He's playing this very defensively and now looking to begin placing pressure over towards his enemy's base as well. Multiple horsemen beginning to come out now. So actually going into double stable, and I like this. Now, with regard to the Abbey of the Kings, or Abbey of Kings, it's not Abbey of the Kings, it's just Abbey of Kings. It's been buffed up in the recent patch, so it does more healing per tick. So it does +8 every 1.5 seconds. Now, they got to be out of combat. That's the thing. So what does Hut do right now? He should send everybody back to the Abbey of the Kings, except for the full health ones, or the ones that are at like 60% health, and then he wants to dive them, try and trade them out, similar to the same way that you would use the French Knights. So that's essentially it, but you got to be careful with the Horsemen. Obviously, Horsemen, a lot lower health pool, lower armor as well, so might look to invest in getting that +1 sooner rather than later, but already you can see from Hut just how many farms are coming out, and this synergizes so well with going cavalry. It's actually such a smart move when you think about it, how big this brain is. Let me explain the synergy for you. Okay, so because you're going Abbey of the Kings, it means you've got flexibility. Oh, here we go. Look at his heals. Look at the heals coming through right now. So because you're going Abbey of the Kings, it means you don't have to commit to longbow. And because you don't have to commit to longbow, you can go into cavalry. And that's exactly what he does, which have got a very, very high food cost. And all of a sudden, what takes food? Where does your food come from? Look at all the farms. It's just such a smart move. I feel like this is a natural progression for the English. And I actually think that the Abbey of the Kings is becoming a viable viable option for English players with this change. Because just watching this, it all starts to make sense. Because sure, you might like longbows. Obviously, I like longbows. You like longbows. We all like longbows. They're good fun. But at the same time, it gets a bit boring, a bit monotonous. And so, what do we have? Well, we've got the cavalry open, and it definitely makes a lot of sense, especially against a civ like Abbey, where typically you're going to be wanting to make cavalry just because of the camels, and they're so difficult to deal with their in composition with the horsemen. And you can see the horseman now diving underneath the town center. That one's definitely going to be going down. He's getting out a fair few of these bad boys. Now going to be able to clean up a villager here as well. So looking to do a lot of damage, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a third or even a fourth stable added in. And then he just moves in from there into like full knights. And now men-at-arms coming in around the bottom. 8 villagers inside the town center. Going to be able to get this back. Oh, I love it. He does the Superman stab right there. Just the way that he gets his back into it. It's so funny when they do that. But now going to be walking away. So you see he's going to be able to get some value here once again from the Abbey of Kings. So he's got 3 relatively low. And now they're going to be coming in. He finds them in the stealth forest here. He's got to be careful. It looks like CM not really paying attention. He's going to be trying to kite out these units, and it's going to be so important when you're going up against English players to focus down the low health units, kind of like when you're playing up against the French. And now we can see him chasing back all of these units. Got to be careful here not to lose them. It looks like one of the horsemen probably going to go down if he's not careful. He actually changes the focus of them and manages to get away. He gets, oh my lord, that's got to be 3 points from there. It's definitely got to be 3 points. But going to be able to head back and heal up. But you can see the reinforcing horsemen just continuing to come out. He's got so many of them in queue. Look at the resources he's stacking up. That's the big thing. Now thinking about going to the Castle Age. So it's almost a bit reminiscent of the way that the Holy Roman Empire play, where they just go full cavalry in Age 2, like the way that Mister does it. But you can see that CM, obviously on the 2 town center, he's looking to get into fast car or go up to the Castle Age himself. You can see he's sitting on 48 villagers at the moment compared to the 38 from Hut, so not doing too bad. Obviously he's lost a couple here and there. He lost one on their gold mine to begin with. He lost another one trying to head back to the town center over here. So he's lost 2 so far, at least 2 that I can remember. But the thing to note is that Hut's villagers obviously much more effective than CM. So every villager that Hut has got on food here, this is think of it as like 1.2 villagers, because not only is it gathering faster, but it's also got its wheelbarrow upgrade, and he's also got horticulture in. And when we take a look over at his enemy side, so you've got wheelbarrow in, but no horticulture coming through just yet. But a huge mass of military units now beginning to build up for Hut. You can see he's actually going to be chasing back these camel archers. They've only got 1.69 movement speed, so not going to be enough, and really not a big mass coming up. At this point, I don't think that CM can really leave his base. That's the big thing. CM, don't leave your base. You're going up to the Castle Age, mate. You're going to be okay. And now we can see he's actually gathering up some stone, so might even be thinking about a 3rd town center. But speaking of other town centers, we see a blacksmith coming down for Hut and a King's Palace as well. No surprises there. But continuing to add in more cavalry units. And you can see he's actually struggling with his other resources, but food is just not an issue. He's sitting on 1,100 food a minute right now, and that is absolutely fine. And look at the horseman numbers coming out. 18 horsemen. My main concern is that by going with the Abbey of Kings build, I just feel like you kind of limit yourself with regard to composition, and you definitely telegraph to your enemy what your intents are. It's like, if you open with Abbey of Kings, it's like, well, yeah, I'm going cavalry. Like, can you imagine like someone opens with Abbey of Kings and then goes like and drops an archery range down? Like, that would just be next level big brain stuff. But King's Battle's now going to be coming up, 1,200 food sitting in there. Now, when it comes to most efficient units for the English composition, it's definitely going to be that men-at-arm. Look at that, 100 food versus 20 gold. So a 5-to-1 ratio there. Equally, with the horsemen, it's 100 versus 20 wood. So another good ratio there. So honestly, I would recommend maybe even thinking about as the English and like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see compositions enter into like men-at-arms plus horsemen. And you think about that combo, that's actually a pretty sick combo. So men-at-arms, obviously going to clean up all of your trash units, going to get countered by enemy men-at-arms, but also crossbows. But then you've got the horsemen that come in behind, they swoop in, they start taking out the crossbows. So it could be very effective, and at the same time, you can't really use siege against that composition, because when you think about it, right, if you're playing as like 3 mangonels or something like that, well, you're going to get flanked, you try and wall them up, and then they're just going to run away because they've got the faster movement speed, they go look for action elsewhere. Like, there's not a lot that you can actually run against a composition like this. It feels very, very difficult to deal with. The only thing that I think could probably beat it is just like even more mass men-at-arms. Like, if you just had more men-at-arms, but the thing is, English men-at-arms are so damn good. But speaking of so damn good, villagers going to be running back because these so damn good horsemen going to be trying. We see veteran horsemen come in. They do a little bit of a switch in the midst of it. He's going to get a full surround here. Hut just completely over his enemy at this point in time. We check on CM, see how he's doing. He's got the 2 town centers down. Doesn't look like he's gone for that 3rd one yet, despite having enough resources for it. He's sitting on 65 villagers compared to 52 for Hut. Hut's going to be able to catch up to him, considering he's got that 2nd town center down right now. And now we see the switch beginning, and it looks like Clad Armor is going to be coming in, or Armor Clad, also the men at arms, and still going for the mass horsemen. So yeah, as I kind of, I wouldn't say I predicted it, but as I suspected, it seems like a really good composition to play as the English, just because you can focus on your farm economy. Like, what is the English player's strengths? The English player's strength is, well, cheaper farms and also faster gathering farms. Then once we get to, oh my god, then once we get to the Imperial Age, like, don't even get me started. But like, honestly, I watch Hut play the English like this right now, and it makes me want to play the English. Like, I see everything he's doing. I'm like, this is so cool. I love watching the way that they play the early aggression, but at the same time, the economic boom behind it. Like, they are still, like, it's incredible for me to watch this. But we don't have fertilization coming through just yet. You can see he's got plenty of resources in the bank. Might be considering it soon. Also going to be getting Bloomery, so looking to get his upgrades. Already got the +2 ranged armor. Is he going to have 8 armor on these men at arms? Oh my god, he's got 8 ranged armor on these men at arms. That is ridiculous how much he's got on these bad boys. Also going to have 4 ranged armor on the veteran horsemen as well. So this is such a cool composition. I love this. This is definitely next level English plays. And I got to say, man, like, we talked about it a bit earlier, but isn't that just such a beautiful English base? The farms, the Abbey of Kings, all of this stuff right here. Like, I'm so tempted to take a screenshot right now if we weren't in-game. But now the horsemen are going to begin moving out. We'll take a look at the military difference between these two guys. 33 versus 13. But keep in mind, obviously, Abbasid, a little bit more defensive. They do have the right to be defensive. He's got outposts. You can see he's got the upgrades for them as well. Now we've got the upgrades coming through, looking to go to veteran spears. Also got men-at-arms coming out. But now this composition going to be falling back. You can see he's got the veteran camels out as well. I'd love to see a few more camels coming out for him with spears. I think Abbasid camel spear combination is a really good composition, especially going up against this. But now we can see a little bit of a raid coming down towards the wood line, not walling this all the way in. A little bit of a mistake coming through from CM, and once again falling victim to his own lack of walls. No wall challenge coming through. I mean, I say no wall challenge. He's got the walls at the back. Oh, I apologize. We do have a 3rd town center. I am legally blind. So 3rd town center is down. So now the burden is upon CM to try and survive. You can see that that Hut is really intent on killing CM at this point. But keep in mind, even though it might look like CM is down and out of it, he's got 3 town centers, so he's never really out of it. And obviously the villages also much cheaper. You can see he's got a lot of units in the barracks at the moment as well. Barracks coming out. Still yet to get that that upgrade through the Phalanx upgrade. Ideally, you'd like to see him come through with that. But I gotta say, one of the things that the developers are doing with the civilizations is they're making them more fun to play. One of the things to remember is that when it comes to balancing this game, the developers have actively said they don't want to nerf civs, they want to buff civs. That means they want to bring everybody up to the same level as Delhi, as Abbasid are right now, because many people consider Abbasid to be S tier. If you watch BC Cutie's tier list video, he actually puts Abbasid Dynasty in the S tier with Delhi, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But they are really a civilization that, you know, I can watch and I can see, and I'm like, I want to play this civilization. You're talking like real cheap villages, 25 food, just go for mass spears with camels behind. You're going to be able to destroy absolutely everything, especially once you get the Phalanx upgrade. Oh my god, it just feels so good. 69 villagers coming through for CM. Nice. Over on the other side, Hut also with 69 villagers, double nice. It's almost like 2 people wanted to get to 69 together. I mean, 69 villagers together. Oh god, gotta be careful there, Drongo. But now it looks like Siege Workshop gonna be coming out from Hut. Also gonna be going into a monastery, and that is, I don't think I've ever seen an English monastery. I look at that, I'm like, I think I went to school there. Look at that thing. That is so nice, dude. Oh, man. I gotta say, like, props to the devs. You know, I like to give the devs shit. I mean, who doesn't like to give the devs shit? It's something that we can all get behind. But at the same time, They're doing a pretty good job. Like, with what they've got, they are doing a good job. As you guys know, there's a bit of a pipeline that happens with regard to updates. It takes some time for updates to happen, but I gotta be honest with you guys, like, this is looking good. The way the English play, it feels so much better to me. I didn't really enjoy the whole, like, alright, I'm gonna make longbows. Alright, I'm gonna keep making longbows. Gets to Imperial. Okay, I'm gonna keep making longbows. Like, it just didn't excite me too much. But, I mean, now the English, it's just gonna be men-at-arms, like, non-stop with horsemen. I don't actually know what the counter to this is going to be. I mean, okay, let's say you're playing Abbasid. What do you go? I think you go walls, mangonels. Walls, mangonels. I mean, that's not really a unit composition, Drongo. I definitely think spears, obviously very good, going up against the horsemen. Camels also very effective going up against the men-at-arms. These guys have got a very high pierce. You can see there, 14 bow damage. They actually got buffed in the recent patch. Yeah, the S-tier Abbasid dynasty got buffed. You heard that correctly. And now Hut looking to push. He knows about this. Obviously, the outpost in the center here, I don't think CM knows about this. You can see he doesn't really have vision there. Now going to be looking to hold on, but at the same time, Hut pushing out with a huge massive military. 23 men-at-arms in here. You can see the villagers going to be going down on the back line here. Horsemen doing a great job. The Abbasid villagers just screaming as they begin dying, and it's really not looking pretty right now for his enemy. CM absolutely falling apart. Looks like he cancels the keep. Going to be needing to push it on maybe a little bit safer, perhaps. Probably a good bet coming out for him. We'll check and see whether CM looks to go for a bit more. Look, like a keep right here would just be perfect. Just grab these villagers, 23 of them, drop a keep right there. Just right there. Absolutely perfect. But now, on the other side, Hut going to be looking to push his enemy. You can see he's got the double siege workshop, and we already see the trebs coming out. So it's almost like he just knows. And speaking of just knowing, is he searching for relics? Is that what he's searching for? Doing a bit of soul searching? He knows about this one up towards the north. Where's the other ones? It's over here. I reckon he's just searching for a relic. He's getting chased down as he does it. Yeah, so I think as the Abbasid, I think definitely you want to be going like phalanx. Go for like heavy phalanx spears. I think that's going to be your front line. And then maybe go crossbows behind that, and then it's like a bit of a micro battle. But the problem is your enemy's going full melee units, which means all they want to do is they kind of want to clamp you. Like, they want to give you the clamps. Does put the keep down as well. Good position here, but keep in mind, I think we've got 3 trebuchets already out now for Hut, and he's looking to add more. Yeah, we see 5, and keep in mind, he's playing as the English, so he can get that shattering projectiles tech once he reaches the Imperial Age. And these trebs are actually pretty decent against units. But now we see the full outpost surround coming in here as well for Hut. He is really looking to up the ante, and it sounds like up towards the north he's picked up another relic, so going to be heading towards that. He's done the classic double monastery build. He says, you know what, I wasn't happy with a single one, we're going to double this bad boy up. And now we see villagers getting chased away. But yeah, I think Abbasid probably want to go this, I would say spearman, and then like camel archer crossbow, I think is probably the go-to. I don't even think you can go mangonels. I just feel like going siege up against the English, or at least that composition, like men-at-arm horsemen, it's such a difficult composition to play against, because it's like your siege is just going to get countered completely. And like, what's it doing? Like, what are you firing at? Are you firing at the horsemen? Are you firing at the men-at-arms? Like, both of these units, like horsemen can dodge very easily. Men-at-arms, I mean, good luck trying to kill those bad boys. Like, they're just ridiculous. But now you can see all the upgrades coming through for CM. He is getting that phalanx upgrade, so looking to defend. Hut going for a bit of a cheeky wall here around his sprinkled outpost. And look at this, now we got CM doing a counter wall. He's like, no walls for you, my friend. No, it doesn't look like he's got the textiles upgrade, so going to be one-shotting these villagers here. Outpost doing work. You can see his shift clicked it onto this, despite having all these units here in front. It looks like he's going to just be focusing down the villagers. Finally now going to be focusing down the units. Interestingly, the sprinkled doesn't get affected by the armor of the... Oh, he's got no ranged armor. That's why. Okay. I was like, he doesn't have any... Like, he's not getting affected. Well, yeah, he's got no ranged armor, mate. That's why. So now we can see that the trebs are going to begin working on that keep. So many trebs coming out as well. 5 trebs. Is he making more? Oh my god, he's making more. He's got the 6th treb back here. So he's really looking to hang on. 92 villagers out for Hut now. And this keep is going down. There is no way you keep this keep alive, not with that many trebs. You would need to pull every single villager you've got, and very quickly you would be chanting those 2 fearsome words, insufficient wood. But now we'll tune in with CM. We'll see what he's up to. He's sitting on 48 military population compared to Hutt, who's on 91. But at the same time, I mean, 18 of that is going to be going over to trebuchets. At least I think 18. Let's double check and see how much these bad boys are worth. Yeah, they're 3 population each, so 18. So probably a bit close to like maybe 70, something like that. 73 population versus 48, but now getting some Springalds out himself. But you can definitely see the mass is much larger at this point in time for Hutt against CM, and Hutt doing a great job of just etching out this lead. And look at the trebuchets just unfolding upon that Springald that was under construction. He says, mate, you don't make your Springalds on the front line, I'm just going to kill him. And that's exactly what he did. And now continuing to unfold, you can see him taking out the outpost. And this is what makes trebuchets so great. Now keep in mind, these trebuchets also have network of castles, which means that they are firing faster. And you can see that they are reallocating towards these units. We might have a bit of a battle on our hands right now as the Trebs continue to throw rocks down on the backline. Mangonels yet to be seen by either player, but at the same time, look at the horsemen, how quickly they move onto the backline, surrounding the enemies. The Springalds have moved up, trying to fire, and they managed to take out one of those trebuchets. Village is going to be coming in for a little bit of a heal, but you can see the blue numbers just overwhelming right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were waiting for the English to get off their bottom of the ranking, then now is the time, because the Abbey of Kings is in. It's looking incredibly strong, and I gotta say, Hutt just doing an absolute number on CM here, and it's gotta be owed to the fact that English early game looks incredibly strong, fellas. I don't know about you, but it is looking exciting. It's a great time to be an English fan. A great time to be an English fan. You know, that I just remembered an ad I saw for the Rugby World Cup where it's like, you can't unite the world except when it comes to one question, which was like, who don't you want to win the World Cup? And every single country's like, England, England, England. Like, who don't you want to win? England. Oh gosh, you English folks. You're so beloved by the world, aren't you? But now, speaking of beloved, Hutt gonna try and turn this town center into a bit of his own territory, beloving it with a few more rocks, and does indeed take out the game. So fellas, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Abbey of Kings. The new English opening is incredibly cool. I'm looking forward to these early men-at-arms. They are absolutely monstrous. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.